Hi everybody, it's Scott here from That Moto app. Today I'm going to be talking about TMA Mobile, our navigation piece as part of the That Moto app ecosystem. Let's take a look. Here on my home screen, I've got a number of different tools. First we have across the top, we have to start and stop recording. So if I want to record where I'm riding today, I just hit the record button and then it's going to lay down a GPS track. I can take pictures, those will be geotagged, and then I can either just keep that on my phone or I could submit it to my profile on TMA Web. The second one across the top here is to send my location. So if I click on that, it's going to open up my text message program complete with the coordinates for where I am right now, so I can send those to a buddy. I've used that before when my bike's broken down and I needed someone to come pick me up. Next one across the top here is adding a waypoint. You can very quickly add a waypoint from your home screen. Next one over is trail report. Of course, this one's really cool. You can either submit a trail report or a zone report. So a trail report would be like, hey, there's a log down here, or something's messed up, a fire break. Or a zone report might be like, don't bother coming in here right now, it's too slippery, too much snow, etc. Moving back, I've got the picture of a little icon of a camera, and that is to literally take pictures. And then on the far right here, I can change my map style. So right now I'm using the dark streets. It's very easy for me to switch over to a satellite view or just a typical topo map. Moving back, on the left-hand side here, we have these really cool buttons. When you're ripping along on your bike, you don't want to be pinching and doing stuff like that. So what we've done is we've added these plus and minus buttons. Those are designed to allow you to quickly zoom in or zoom out. The next one down here, that arrow, some people like to navigate so that their direction of travel is up, so the map will continually spin when you make turns. Personally, I like to navigate with north up, so my little icon for myself will spin. I find it helps keep me better grounded. I know which way is north, basically. This yellow arrow on the left will collapse or expand that side menu just to create more space. And then across the bottom, we have some other simple tools. On the left-hand side, those three vertical lines, sorry, those are horizontal lines. People are commonly calling that the hamburger. So that opens a whole other menu. Let's take a look. So now it's slid open. We can check for updates or synchronize TMA Mobile with TMA Web. So that could be synchronizing things with the GPS exchange, synchronizing your motos, and other things. I could submit a trail report from here. If I had any pending ride submissions, so when I ride, I typically go out and burn around. I don't immediately go submit to web. I wait till I'm home or somewhere with really good internet connectivity, because I've often taken like 10 pictures and those are big files. So I will wait and then I'll come and smash that button and it will send that information into TMA Web. And the next one is just literally open TMA Web. That will just open the browser on your phone so you can cruise around and look at the more community nature items in TMA. Next one down here, you can view your garage. That's really cool. I'm gonna do a separate video on that one because you can update your odometer at the end of a ride and your oil change status will automatically update. Sharing access is just a way of, you're like, hey man, you should join TMA, and they're like, what's that? Click share access, then they can scan the QR code and immediately get in past that access code gatekeeper. And then finally down here, we have our difficulty rating system. So this has been a really great communication tool. If people are like, well, how hard is today's ride gonna be? I'd say, well, we now have a language. So I'd say, well, it's gonna peak at a difficulty 4, but that's really only 100 meters. The rest of it's kind of D3 and D2. And once people understand what that means, they go, oh, okay, I get it. And this system absolutely adapts to the size of the bike that you're riding. So a D4 on a GS 1250, crazy. A D4 on a 350 4-stroke is probably gonna be a lot easier for most people. So I'm gonna close that menu. Across the bottom, just last few little things here. This target reticle will, if you've scrolled and you moved away on the map somewhere, hit the target reticle and it will center you once again. And then of course you can use your plus minus buttons just to get that level of detail that you really like. The speed right now is at 0 because I'm sitting here. When you're when you're recording, if you click on that, it will go to statistics and there'll be a lot more than just this. Right now it's saying my speed and my elevation, but if you're recording, it can say, this is how long you've been moving for, this is how long you've been stopped for, average speed, peak speed, and so on. Leaving the stats, once again, I'm just gonna have 2 left here. The folder system, this is something we've really nailed, I think. If you're using other programs, their folder systems can be really frustrating. I think we've got it really nicely figured out. So you can see I have here my GPS files from the Exchange and elsewhere. So I have my recordings, those I've imported, and those from the Exchange. I can go in here and I can turn individual tracks on or off. Let's just jump into one of these right now. We'll go down to the Dirt Chimps. And Castle Garden to Cusp, for example, I can click on that folder, and now I can see all the files that are part of that particular adventure. This eyeball on the right-hand side, right now it means that track is showing. If I click one more time, it's going to go yellow. That means I want this track highlighted. It's going to make it extra fat. It's going to retain its color because in TMA, color means something. It means difficulty. Now I've just made it fat. In settings, you can decide how fat you want fat to be. You can also click on the name here, and basic information will come up about that track. You could then choose from here to show it on the map or just close it. I'm going to close it. Moving back, I'm just kind of backing out of here. Your guidebooks. If you've downloaded things from the GPS Exchange that have PDF guidebooks attached to them, they'll be found in here as well. So for our Okanagan CDR, there's a really good guidebook that talks about each day along the adventure. That's available from Epic GPS Adventures inside the GPS Exchange. And then manuals. This is really cool. This has saved me several times. So in my garage, I've uploaded the manual for my 690, as you can see there, right there, 690 manual. So if I'm stuck somewhere and we're troubleshooting, we're trying to go, man, what's not working here? I have offline access to the PDF of my manual. So I do not have to be connected to the internet to be able to get my help resources out where I need them. And the final one here on the right-hand side is the gear icon. Of course, that always means settings, right? So we have 4 tabs across the top. The first one being map. I can define which map layer I want. We have a dynamic zoom, which I didn't show you because I have it turned off. But if I'm going slowly, I typically want the map to push in, come down to that street level view. Whereas if I'm cooking along the highway, let's pull back, give me some context of where I am, how far the next town is away. So you can set what zoom levels you want and what trigger points for speed for those dynamic zooms. It is pretty cool. Here's that track thickness thing. So when you highlight a track, I want it to be fat. So first of all, my basic tracks are set at 3.5 out of 4. So they're already pretty fat. And then I say, if I make it highlighted, make it 4 times fatter. So it's super easy to follow. You can choose what color you want your waypoints, but not your tracks. Remember, track color means something in TMA. It reflects the difficulty. Now, if you want to clean up your whole screen, you're like, there's too many tracks, there's too many waypoints, I've downloaded too much stuff, I'm just trying to do too much. That's where you could hit these hide all buttons. I hide all the waypoints. I don't really care about waypoints unless I'm trying to find something in particular. Moving on to UI, this is really simple. You can see here I do have the dynamic zoom turned off. I've got the little pill switch hit to the side. I want that dynamic zoom to be collapsible. And the heading tools, I have that turned on. And finally, settings. Just keep screen on. That's a pretty good one. So you're cooking along and you look down and your screen's turned off. You're like, oh no, how am I still gonna navigate? So I wanna keep that on. And typically I'd have this plugged in as well because these screens are really bright on these phones. So they use a lot of battery, right? And same with your GPS. We've done everything we can to optimize it, but still, especially this guy, it's got a wicked awesome screen. It's super bright and I love it. That's the Android. But I'd choose your battery. What can I say? That's an S23 Ultra. So it's a nice phone. So yeah, let's just wrap up with that. We're available on Android and Apple. It's called TMA Mobile. If you're still running TMA Sidecar, get rid of it. We haven't supported that for like a year. Turf it and go to your store and download one of these babies. We hope you love it. And if not, let me know. I can always steer the ship into a direction that makes everyone happy. Thank you.